Hey, welcome back, y'all. It's another extra edition of the Relationship Gumbo podcast. It's probably around lunchtime for a lot of you guys, depending on what time zone you're in. But I'm back, y'all. And you know we're going to be back here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight with a special guest. We're going to talk about the man up culture and how men are taught to man up and suck it up. We're going to talk about how that affects men and how it affects our ability to speak about our emotions and things like that. So please come back at 8 p.m. tonight. It's going to be a great show. But right now, we have a special topic. It's about isolation. I know a lot of you guys are on your quarantine and chill or quarantine and crazy, right? There's a lot of stuff going on out there. And there's a lot of people, trying to figure things out. And, sometimes it's a state of chaos, but we got to keep our head up and just try to do what we got to do to get through to the other side of this thing. So, stay safe, wash your hands, do all the stuff they're telling you to do. Don't take it for granted. Just stay safe and keep your family safe. So what we're going to do is we are going to take about 15 seconds. I want to make sure everything is going where it's supposed to go because we're on YouTube, not Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope at the same time. So make sure that you are, just stay tuned. I'll be right back.
This one for the streets that taught me lessons. They taught me about the grief and people out here stressing. They taught me how the evils wanna keep you from progressing. It's people in your circle wanna keep you from your blessings. No talking to them people when them people come with questions. This moment say no ratting. For them, death is destined. Be careful of the people you invest in.
All right, we are back. And as you guys know, this is a live podcast recording. So the way that this works is I'm going to pause for 3 seconds. We're going to start the podcast and then I'm going to pause for another 3 seconds at the end. And then we can speak freely. Feel free to comment or add questions throughout. And if I feel it pertinent, I will add it into the podcast. So stay tuned. And welcome to another episode of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. I am Derek Jones, your host. I'm a certified life coach, an engineer, a strategist, and a mental health advocate. And today we are going to talk about isolation. The title is Isolation Makes Room for Reflection, because a lot of us are kind of cooped up in the house. A lot of people going crazy, kids running around. You don't know what to do with yourself. You got anxiety. You're trying to figure it out. What do you do with yourself? Stop eating all that food. Put on a movie, do what you got to do, but keep yourself safe, right? So when we talk about isolation, it's time that you're going to have to kind of be by yourself, right? Or maybe with some of your loved ones. But it also is a great time for you, since you don't have your normal routine, to reflect on things, right? Because in order for us to grow, in order for us to improve, we need to kind of do some self-evaluation. So I know sometimes that hustle and bustle doesn't allow you time to do that, but I'm going to give you some tips and I'm going to give you kind of a path to go on so that you can understand what this looks like. Because some people aren't even aware that they even need to do any type of reflection, right? It's crazy every day. And then you go to sleep and then you wake up and you do the same thing every day. And we had another prior podcast about not allowing your schedule to dictate and define your relationship. You're going to have to step outside of that, and you're going to have to really look at your life. Because there's a lot of people out here that, how we always say, I wish I could do this or I want to do that. Well, stop wishing. Let's make a plan and let's do what we got to do, right? So I am going to give you today the top five ways that you can reflect during this isolation quarantine time, right? So, and these are my tips. So the first one we're going to call peace of mind. And so the reason why I called it that is in order for you to make clear decisions, you have to have a clear mind. And a lot of us have a lot of overthinking and clutter, just ruminating and just kind of scattered and scrambled eggs all in our head every day. And we really don't have time or make time to have peace in our lives. And that means you're going to have to isolate yourself. You're going to have to find a quiet place to breathe and just kind of, relax. Not take a nap, because I know y'all like to take naps all the time. I'm guilty of that too. But I'm talking about really sitting and just breathing. It doesn't have to be full-blown meditation, because I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to do all that. Just take some time to breathe and clear your mind, because you have extra time now to do that. If you're following the instructions that you're supposed to follow, take some time to breathe, quiet your mind, and prepare yourself to bring in new information, right? Sometimes we don't want to learn new stuff. We just want to keep going. And like they always talk about, insanity, you keep doing the same thing. 10 years from now, you're going to be like, I wish I would have. So we're not about regrets here on this show. So we're talking about, in this case, this is a relationship dating communication show. So in order for you to even be a successful partner in a relationship, you got to be the best version of yourself, or at least, as close as possible, right? So find some place and find a way for you to have some quiet time, some peace time. We all need it. I don't care how good you think you are. Everybody needs that time to really clear their head. So now we're going to segue into number 2. And number 2 is I'm going to call, who are you? Who are you? Do you even know who you are? Do you know what you want out of life? Are you just kind of doing the hamster wheel every day and hoping for the best? Who are you? A lot of us don't even know who we are, what we need, or what we like. And so, number 1 was finding that time to clear your head. Once you clear your head, then you got to figure out what your dreams are, what your goals are. Who am I? Who am I? I'm going to keep saying that. Who am I? Because once again, I'm going to repeat, a lot of us are slaves to our schedules, and we lose sight of our greater purpose. We lose sight of who we really are. And so one way you can do that, once again, we're talking about reflection and evaluation. Take a scan of your life. Take a scan and put that against, what some of the goals that you may have had. And this goal could have been, we can even just go short term and say, what was your goals last year? Right? We always talk about New Year's resolutions and goals. And where are you against that? Where are you against where you thought you would be? Right? Nothing's perfect. But if you don't try, who are you? I told you I'm going to keep saying that because, a lot of us live, and I talk about this all the time, but it's very pertinent, especially now. You in quarantine, you in isolation. A lot of us go our whole lives pretending to be something to make other people happy. And in the wake of that, you suffer. You suffer with a smile on your face. You cry in the dark. But who are you? No, let me say that one more time. Who are you? Are you having the kind of fun that you want to have? I talked to someone recently, like I want to say a couple weeks ago, and I asked them when the last time they did something fun. And they was like, I don't know. I don't even know what that is anymore because I got a schedule. Who are you? You got to take time to figure that out because as we segue into number 3, because this is a relationship show, once you figure out what your goals are, am I really living? Because once again, sometimes it's finances. Sometimes it's something else in your life that doesn't allow you to do what you want to do. But there's levels to this, right? There's all different types of levels to fun. And on each level, there's something that can be done that fits you. You just have to be the owner of trying to figure out what that is. Do not settle for less than what you deserve because you got a schedule. Stop it. So number 3. Relationship evaluation. So now this is a big one, right? We're going to spend a couple minutes on this one because we all have to do this over time. I don't care if you are a girlfriend, boyfriend, if you've been married for 20 years, you have to do an evaluation of your relationship. Now, when I say this, because we're talking about reflecting, self-reflecting, self-love, self-care, we're talking about you. Who are you in your relationship, and are you doing your part? Right? Because we always talk about balance in a relationship and trying to do your best. Now, let's backtrack. The only way that you can truly thrive and be a successful partner in a relationship is if you live your life with intention on making sure that you do your best. But number one, you have to be in that relationship as your real self, not the person with the Halloween mask on that's trying to make sure everything's good. Because even if your relationship looks good and feels good, you are still suffering on the inside because you have to wear that hot, sweaty mask every single day of your entire life. Ouch. So you have to get to a point where you are happy too. Because a lot of us selfless people, right? And I was guilty of this for a lot of years. We always say, as long as they're happy, I'm happy. Right? And we know underneath it all that you have to be happy too. So you have to evaluate, are you really doing your best for you? Because a person that is not happy in a relationship does not look like a successful relationship. And that means to your partner, to your kids, and anybody else that relies on you. You need to be happy. That's your foundation before you get in a relationship and throughout your relationship. And you have to be strong enough to communicate that. If people don't understand that, if you go back to number one and you need time to get your peace of mind so you can have a clear head to make decisions so that you can figure out who you are so you can be a better person in the relationship. There it is. Come on. I did these in a certain order for a reason. So once you have done those evaluations, right? Number one, find your peace, find that quiet, clear your mind. Number two, you got to figure out who you are and who you want to be, because we all strive to be better than what we are today. That's the goal, right? Then you have to evaluate your relationship and see if that's even functioning the way that you would like for it to. And then you talk that out and you figure out, how do we grow? How do we do things better? Or are we stagnant? We've been stagnant since we've been engaged and we haven't really grown from that. We just on fumes right now because we got a schedule. Notice a theme here. The schedule is running, y'all. Stop it. I'm guilty of it too. But we got to take time. I had another show about this. Y'all got to go back and binge the podcast. Number 4. Once you know all of these things, you got to map out a plan. Because it's not good enough to know what to do. You got to map it out. Take steps. Because this is what we do, what happens with mental health and psychology and just trying to fix problems in general. You don't tackle the whole problem at once. You do it in baby steps. Take a little piece and another little piece. And eventually you'll get to fixing whatever that one problem is. And then you move on to problem number 2. And you keep trying. But do not look at it as this one big thing, because you'll never get it done. We talk about this when it comes to anxiety. We talk about this when it comes to depression. You can't solve it all in one day. You're going to have to map a plan out of how you're going to deal with it. And figure out how you can be the best you inside and outside of your relationship. Because everybody wins. And number 5, you have to believe that you are worthy of more. You're worthy of more. I'm going to say it one more time. You are worthy of more. Because sometimes we're a slave to what we believe we can be. Sometimes we're a slave to what other people tell us we can be. And you can be more. And you deserve more. And you should be able to strive for more without anybody holding you back. Even in a relationship. Because if you're in a relationship, you want to strive to do more. And your partner is stopping you. What are you doing? Who is that partner to you if they're not supporting your dreams? There's a lot of people out there, and I've talked to many of them that have a partner that's not supporting them. And it's very depressing and it's very gut-wrenching. But you got to be able to get to a point where you can communicate effectively. And I got a whole online course about communication that I'm developing. So we're not going to get into the tools here. But you're going to have to figure out how to get back to that love and that respect to say, I want to be more. I want us to achieve more. And let's make a plan so that we can get there. Because if you don't make a plan, you're going to be sitting stagnant for the next 20, 30 years. And you're going to be pissed. Trust me. Especially those of you that are like in your 30s. You got time. Right? There's no room for regret. I always see these people, they're like 25 and they're like distraught. And they're like, oh, my life is over. No, it's not. It's so not. So you got to really, 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 like we're gonna wrap this up and put it in a pretty bow. You got to really take time to reflect. You got time now. We don't even know how many weeks this thing gonna last. Start today, start tomorrow, and just take some time. Find a quiet place and just breathe and clear your head and say, what do I need to do? What do I love doing that I'm not doing? Even if it's a little side thing that I do, a hobby or a side hustle, I need to start figuring out how to do that. And I have time now to figure out what that looks like. Because we talked about mapping out a plan. It can be done. And guess what? You may not know how to do any of the 5 things. And that doesn't mean that that's an indictment on your life. That just means you need help. Right? You might need a whole life coach. You might need, a therapist. You may need to go on YouTube and look up some stuff. But the answers are there. You just got to be diligent about wanting to be the best version of you. So let's all get there together, right? Because we all on that. Hopefully, we're on that path. We're going to try to get there. And if you're not, you owe it to yourself to get back to that happy place. And if you never, ever, ever, ever knew what happiness felt like in your life, you can start right now. That's my PSA for the day. Your happiness starts today. Your happier starts today. So I want you guys to have a fantastic day. Stay safe. Wash those hands and every other part of your body too. Okay, let's keep it real. And you can go to MrCarLogic.net. You can see everything I have to offer. And you can also go to any place where you get your podcasts and search for Relationship Gumbo. And I believe this would be number 21, I think this one is. And then tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have another show. I'm doing 2 today, and I'll probably do 1 tomorrow. I'm going to do a real fun one tomorrow. So stay attached to me. Go to that website. Link up with me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. I'm going to pop up, and we just going to have fun with this thing. I want you guys to learn something. I want you guys to feel something. And I just want us to have fun. We can do it. We can do all of that. We can laugh. We can cry. We can do all that together. And the key word here is we're doing it together. You're not out here by yourself. That's my purpose here, is to let you know that you are not by yourself and we can all win. And that's all I got for you. Let's have a good day. Be intentional about this quarantine isolation time and make it count. And I will see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Have a great day. All right, we're off, guys. I see a lot of few people came in. Michelle Latasha, Sabrina Jenkins, Shakur, Lady T from Periscope, DJ from Periscope. I just want y'all, thank you. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know some people had to go get on the replay. Some people were working from home and doing all kind of stuff. But that's the beauty of the internet. You can come back and rewind. So on that note, I want you guys to have a great day. And I will see you tonight. Have a great day.
This one for the streets that taught me lessons. Hey, they told me about the grief and people out here stressing. They told me how the evils wanna keep you from progressing. It's people in your circle wanna keep you from your blessings. No talking to them people when them people come with questions. This mama say no ratting. For them, death is destined. Be careful of the people you invest in.